Hi everyone, in this video I will tell you what is a binomial distribution and how to solve or calculate them. What is a binomial distribution? Well, we have the first example. It says a dice is thrown. What is the probability that 14 out of 100 times you get a 6? This one is a binomial distribution because there are only two outcomes you want to calculate. There is the success and the failure. So you either get 6 or you don't. The second one says a dice is thrown. What is the probability that out of 100 times you get 6 14 times and a 5 18 times and something else the rest of the times? This is not a binomial distribution since you have three different outcomes you want to calculate. You want to see, well, how many times do you get this 6 14 times and the probability, and what is the probability that you get the 5 18 times, and so on. So this is not a binomial distribution. The third one, a dice is thrown. What is the probability that out of 100 times you get a 6 or 5 52 times? This one is a binomial distribution because 6 or 5, they belong to one package together. So either you get 6 or 5 or you don't. You don't calculate them separately. So again, here you have either you get this or you don't. You don't have three different options like the example above. So this one here is also a binomial distribution. The fourth example, the probability for a certain medicine to have a positive effect is 90%. What is the probability that at least 1,100 out of 1,300 patients will experience a positive effect? Well, this is also a binomial distribution because either the medicine has a positive effect or it does not. These are the only two outcomes that you can calculate. So moving on. How to solve or calculate the probabilities in a binomial distribution. This here is our formula. You have capital P of x equals r. This here is the probability of getting a certain amount of successes. This is equal to what stands here. Now, we need to know what is n, r, and p, because if we can identify them, then we can easily just replace the letters with the numbers, and then we can calculate the probability. So what is r? The same r which goes all the way. R stands for the number of successes. This is our variable, so this is something that can change. When you throw a dice like 100 times, you can either get the 6 10 times, 15 times, whatever. This can change. N is the number of trials. So how many times do you throw the dice, for example? And small p, that is the base probability. Let's take an example. Let's take the first example here. Well, this says a dice is thrown. What is the probability that 14 out of 100 times you get a 6? So what is the R? How many successes do we want? What is a success? In our case, it is to get a 6. So what is the probability of getting a 6 when you throw the dice once? That is 1 out of 6. That is the base probability, right? So R means, well, how many times do you want the success? And it says 14. And finally, you have the number of trials. How many times do we throw the dice? It's 100 times. So now we're just going to take this here and simply we're going to replace n with the numbers that we have above. So n was 100, right? R, that's 14. And P, the base probability, was 1 out of 6. So here we get this one is the same 1 out of 6. Now R was 14. So we're going to calculate this. Oh, we forgot the R here. So this here says that the probability of getting 14 successes, which is a 6 out of 100 times you throw the dice, is 0.087416, which is approximately 8.74%. So this is the formula. Identify R, N, and the base probability, and then you can calculate it. I'm going to take another example as well. This here says the probability for a certain medicine to have a positive effect is 90%. What is the probability that at least 9 out of 10 patients will experience a positive effect? So let's figure out what is, I'm going to start out with N this time. What is N? Well, that was the number of trials, right? So how many times do we attempt? We have 10 patients, so N must be 10. Then we're going to have the base probability. What is the probability that you experience a positive effect? That was 90%. How about R? What is R? How many successes do you want? Well, a success in this case is that the medicine has a positive effect. So how many successes do you want? Here it says at least 9 out of 10 times. At least 9 means 9 or higher. Well, so you get 9 and 10 actually as well. So you have to change the R. Okay? You cannot get more than 10 because there are only 10 patients. You cannot have 11 patients that will experience a positive effect if there are only 10 patients. So here we have the number of trials, which is exactly the same with the base probability, but the R, which is our stochastic variable, it will change, right? So what we have to do now is to calculate this with the R equals to 9, and then we have to calculate it with R equals to 10, and then we have to add them, and you have to answer. So first of all, I'm gonna try out with the first one here. It says R is equal to 9, and all the ends I'm gonna replace with 10. Now R was 9, right? So I'm gonna type 9 here, and 9 here, 9 here, and 9 here, and then P was 0.90. So this means that the probability here is 38.74%. Okay, I'm going to highlight it. But this was the probability that exactly 9 out of 10 will experience a positive effect. Now we will do the exact same, but this time we're going to change the R to 10. This was R, this was R, and this time we get 34.87%. Okay? So this here means that this is the probability that exactly 10 patients will experience a positive effect. So the probability that at least I'm gonna hold on. So the probability that at least 9 will experience a positive effect means these two added together. So we have P of x equals to 9 plus P of x equals to 10. And we have calculated them right here. So we have this number here plus this number here. Which gives us 73.61%. There you go. So this here is actually the probability that at least 9 patients will recover if the probability for a certain medicine to have a positive effect is 90%. If you need any more examples or any other topics, just subscribe, like, write a comment or something, and I will get back to you.